Ever since I saw the trailer and saw Darth Vader appearing, I really expected a lot out of this cameo. It may have been my fault because at the end, unfortunately, as you saw too, Darth Vader didn't even speak. He entered the room, he sat on the throne, and he barely recognized Barriss Offee. There was a moment there where he definitely paused. The camera showed Darth Vader looking at a particular person, and then the camera shifted to Barriss Offee just before she puts on her mask. Now this was done very much intentionally, don't get fooled, because everybody else, every other Inquisitor had their mask on already, except for Barriss Offee. This is no mere coincidence, my friends, because it was clearly shown that for the sake of the past, for the sake of what Dave Filoni wanted to tell us, Barriss Offee didn't put her mask on immediately, but let her face be shown to Darth Vader just briefly enough for him to take a glance, recognize her, and then be on her way. So of course the big question on this that everybody's been having, including myself, ever since I saw that moment, and believe me, that was a big frustrating moment for me, was why didn't Darth Vader say anything? Or at the very least, why didn't Darth Vader and Barriss Offee never linked up? We know their history. I've been talking video after video, anticipating Tales of the Empire to be a bit bigger than that. Not that I didn't enjoy Barriss's story, her transition into another rogue Jedi who escapes the entirety of it, who escapes the Republic, the Empire, everything. She goes on her rogue way similar to Ahsoka, albeit very different path. There was ample opportunity, but it appears that Darth Vader and Barriss Offee never actually spoke to each other, and they have a lot to say. More specifically, Anakin Skywalker, who actually discovered that Barriss Offee was behind the Jedi Temple bombing, framing of Ahsoka, and he actually fought Barriss Offee. He fought her right on the courtyard of the Jedi Temple in front of many younglings and Jedi Masters. And in the end, it was Anakin who subdued Barriss Offee and arrested her. This led to her arrest. Chancellor Palpatine sentenced her to life in prison, to which we see in Tales of the Empire she is subsequently released because she was, quote-unquote, according to Lin, right. The Jedi were traitors and murderers. Alright, so it would give you the idea that once she meets Darth Vader and doesn't actually know who this guy is for real, but Vader knows who she is. In fact, as we said earlier, he saw her face, and he saw that she had become an Inquisitor now, and he had a chance to actually talk to her. Now, in universe, of course, it makes pretty much sense. Darth Vader kept to himself once he accepted the dark side, once he became Darth Vader. If you read the comics and if you see what Darth Vader's transition into the Empire was in the beginning of the Imperial times, it was pretty difficult. Many Imperials did not know the function of Darth Vader, didn't know his role. He had a hard time getting into that right-hand man of Emperor Palpatine. Many people did not believe him or know anything about him. Of course, it wasn't until Darth Vader started cracking some skulls that they started to respect his position. However, Darth Vader pretty much kept to himself, but not this time. This time, I think that if we go deep into his psyche, and perhaps Dave Filoni has thought about this, but it is an unspoken secret, or perhaps it's going to be revealed later on, that I think Darth Vader sensed the good in Barriss Offee. Similar to what we've seen Darth Vader's story come to fruition. I mean, we've constantly seen Darth Vader struggle with the light, especially now in canon. We have comic stories and a lot more that in the end, the culmination is Luke Skywalker trying to convince his father that yes, he still has some good in him, as Padme said, and that he should accept the light. And you're right in saying right now, well, Bessie, what the hell does Barriss Offee has to do with this? Well, at this point and juncture, when Darth Vader enters the room inside the Inquisitorius, his quote-unquote throne room, and the Grand Inquisitor is prepping all these guys, telling them that this is your new master, at this point in time, Darth Vader hasn't a lot of light shining within him. He is pretty dark, he is engulfed in the dark side, and he is not thinking of his Jedi days. However, he is thinking of revenge, and two people that he has set his eyes upon are, of course, first and foremost, Obi-Wan Kenobi. He wants to find him by any means necessary, both in Legends and canon. In canon, we see that during the Obi-Wan series, after his scuffle with Obi-Wan and where he loses again, we see Palpatine finally telling him to let go of his ambitions for his former master. Alright, but at this point he wants Obi-Wan and he wants to find Ahsoka. Even though Ahsoka might have framed herself to be dead together with Rex, we see in the Clone Wars finale, Darth Vader goes and finds her lightsaber, signaling that she may be dead, although Darth Vader is not fooled by this at all. I think even watching that scene, you will realize that Darth Vader is pretty stoic in his beliefs that Ahsoka is out there somewhere. And when he finds out in Rebels that the apprentice is still alive, meaning Ahsoka, he is not that surprised. So I can't help but think that during that time when Darth Vader didn't approach Barriss Offee, didn't talk to her, was because at this moment where he is looking at Barriss Offee, he knows that Barriss is struggling within, has a conflict of light within her, and she is not a true Darksider and not a true Inquisitor. For example, if we compare her to, let's say, the Grand Inquisitor, there is no doubt that the Grand Inquisitor has completely embraced the dark side. But for Barriss Offee, that's not the case, and as we see throughout the episodes, she slowly and slowly gets disgusted with what the Empire is doing, disgusted with the dark side, the nature of the dark side, the evil that it is, and abandons the Empire too, as she had abandoned the Jedi Council and the Republic. So now she goes on her way. And what do we learn at the end of a third episode of Barriss Offee? That she has a friend that she sends this couple with the kid to, that she can trust and that she knows what to do. This is without a doubt, in my mind, Ahsoka. And it shows that Barriss Offee throughout the years might have linked up with Ahsoka somehow, and they have become friends again, with Barriss Offee even sending her Force-sensitive children, people in need, refugees, all these people that need help, she sends towards Ahsoka, who is at this point Fulcrum. This is very important because I think this is why didn't Darth Vader associate himself a lot with Barriss Offee, because once he felt Barriss's good-heartedness still, he knew that at one point Barriss will abandon the Inquisitors, become a Jedi escapee herself, and at some point she will lead him to Ahsoka, and perhaps even to Obi-Wan himself. This is the sinister nature of Vader's mind. If you haven't thought of this already, then just look at many stories that you have of Darth Vader. You see, Vader doesn't trap his opponent immediately. In fact, he first uses him or her to any advantage he can, and he clearly saw that Barriss Offee is not into this. She is not going to be Inquisitor for long. She's going to abandon these Inquisitor fools and go on her way to find more Jedi that have escaped, or even Ahsoka, who wasn't a Jedi even before Order 66. This is a natural leading path to Ahsoka. Once they link up, this will make it easier for Darth Vader to track Barriss Offee to Ahsoka or to Obi-Wan. Fortunately for these guys, we see that Darth Vader was not successful in recovering Barriss Offee's location. In fact, even Lynn admits that once she gave up, this was the time, how ironic that I found you. Meaning that they were searching for Barriss Offee, Darth Vader and the others, for a very long time, but Barriss did a great job, even escaped Darth Vader, who in a way released her only to find her again with more Jedi in tow. But of course, if you disagree, this is a forum for discussion, so talk to me down below in the comments. Tell me, what do you think?